I like the way you work it. No digging.
Hi there, welcome to the basenz.com Gear Guide. I'm Matt. Today we're going to talk about how to buy a snowboard. Now, if you've never been in to buy one before, it can be pretty daunting. There's a lot of snowboards out there to choose from. Our rack is ginormous, and there's a lot to look at online or in store. So, before you get installed, have a look. You've got to work out a few things. If you go into a store, your guy in the shop guy should ask you a whole bunch of questions. What he's going to try and find out is, firstly, what sort of style of board do you need? Now, are you riding park? Are you riding freestyle? Are you riding the whole mountain? Or are you out the back just carving it up riding free ride? So what you want to work out is where you're going to spend most of your time and what you want to do the most, or learn, if that's the case. If you're not doing it but you want to do it. So if you're going to be riding in the park, sort of 8% of your time, definitely want to go a park board. Park board's going to be shorter, softer, more forgiving, easier to learn tricks on. Really, really good for getting your tricks stomped and learning how to do new stuff. Now, if you're going to be doing a bit of freestyle, maybe 50%, you go in the park a bit, but you go all mountain, you're going to want an all mountain freestyle board. This board's probably going to be a twin tip, like a park board, so it'll be perfectly centered, it'll be symmetrical, but it's going to have a regular size tip and tail, so it's going to ride off trail. You're not going to have to ride on groommers like you would in a park. Now, if you're mostly just riding the whole mountain, you don't really go in the park, you maybe do a little bit in the park, a couple of runs here and there, you just want an all mountain board. All mountain board's probably going to be set back, so it's going to be somewhat directional. Wants to ride in one direction, you can still ride it switch, that's no problem. But it's going to have a slightly different flex, it's not going to be even, it's going to have a little bit softer nose, a little bit stiffer on the tail. Still do tricks on it, no worries, but it's made for riding everywhere, having fun doing stuff. Now, if you just like carving, go for a free ride board. Free ride board, it's going to be a bit longer, got more edge on it. It's going to be stiffer in the tail, if you're just going one direction, softer in the nose. It's going to be really good for riding off trail, getting out, hitting chutes, riding somewhere like Treble Cone, or off trail on the North Island in Toorah. What it's going to do is give you more float and soft snow, better for carving than you go turns. Now, the other things to consider when you're looking at a snowboard is going to be your size. This is going to be not just how tall you are. It's a myth that that's a really important thing and that it's got to be nose to chin or anything like that. It's going to depend on how much you weigh, how heavy you are. If you're a really skinny guy, you're real tall, you're real skinny, you can still ride a shorter board because the board only knows how much you weigh. Now, if you're a really big guy, you're heavy, you're going to have to ride a longer snowboard because if you ride a short one, you're going to over flex it. The board's not going to perform the way it's supposed to. So you either ride a stiff board or a longer snowboard. And likewise, if you're a skinny guy, you can ride a softer board or a shorter board. Either way, it's going to work. The other thing to consider is foot size. Really important. I've got really big feet. I cannot ride a normal size snowboard, normal width snowboard, unless the snow is really, really deep. Otherwise, every time you put the board on edge, toes stick out, catch in the snow. So it's really important to get the width of the board right. If you've got big feet, ride a wide board. Very important. So once you've worked out where you're going to ride, what you want to do when you go riding, how big you are, then you're going to work out what you want to ride. Now, for your average sort of person, you're going to want to go about nose to chin for your average size all mountain board for your average weighted guy for height. So for me, at like 6'3", I'm going to be riding in the park 156, 157. So if I was to ride a park board like this K2 dub, I ride this in a 156 wide. So it's got a really short tip and tail, so the distance from here to here is real short. The rise in the nose is real short, which means I can ride this much shorter than my normal board. Now, if I was going to ride an all mountain board or an all mountain freestyle, that's Burton Custom, I'd ride a 160 or a 162 wide. This board's going to be more suited to riding all over the mountain. You can ride anywhere you want. It's got a normal size tip and tail, so the distance here, the height of the tip and tail, so it'll work off trail. It's not going to dig in, and it's got a stiffer flex to it, so it's actually got more pop, more response than a freestyle board or a park board. Then if I'm going to go free ride sort of board, I'm going to go longer again. So if I'm riding something like this Burton Supermodel, I'd actually ride this quite a bit longer. I'd ride a 164 or a 166 even, because what I'm looking for is extra length. Now this board, as you can see, it's got a really big scoop on the nose, really long from contact point to tip, which means the actual edge length from contact point here to contact point there is actually about the same as the 160 Custom. And it's also about the same as the 156, 57 dub. So you're actually riding on the same length of edge, just the overall length of the snowboard reduces. So that's a really important thing to think about. So once you've worked out what sort of size, style, and type of board you want, then you've got to go in and talk to either shop guy in the shop or get online, check out some reviews, have a look at all the boards online. If you've got any questions, you can call us up, ask whatever you want, we'll help you out. And then if you can, get in store and demo the boards. get on a board, go riding on it. We've got over 60 boards in stock. It's a good way to get to know what you're going to be riding. Now, that's the lowdown. What you want to work out is the style of board you're going to ride, where you're going to ride it, what you want to do the most on, and how big you are. Big feet, very important, get the wide board, but if you're real heavy, go stiffer and longer. And that's the lowdown on how to buy a snowboard. So, check us out in store or online, basenz.com. Good stuff online all the time. Peace out.
I like the way you work it. No digging.